This video is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardenes, to use this as an educational matter. I'm Martin Buyunas. I'm here in front of you to discuss our topic, which is all about political self. For me, political self can refer to how the person deal with the people around, giving authority to do something. The best political person is you know how to communicate other people, to connect other people, especially your family, friends, relatives, and other people. And you need to respect each of one, no matter their status in life. For me, political self understand the importance of having a friends, treating fairly, respect regardless of their beliefs, ideas, religions, status in life, race, social background, and also gender. That's all. Thank you.
I'm Christian Zamora, and I'm going to discuss all about Filipino values and traits. So what makes a Filipino a Filipino? What makes the people of the Philippines unique from other cultures? There are a range of Filipino values and traits that help us stand out of a crowd anywhere in the world. I break down 9 of these traits and why these values make Filipino people interesting and unique. So first of all, religion and superstition are big influencers of Filipino beliefs. Like Catholicism, influenced by the Spanish colonization, is the dominant religion in the Philippines, with 86% of the population identifying as Catholic. Before colonization, however, the country was considered a pagan nation and Filipino people believed in natural spirits. Today, most Filipinos adopt a religious way of life while still upholding some pagan beliefs. Many of these practices have become part of Filipino culture and are considered superstitious at times. These superstitious beliefs include saying tabi-tabi po when chartering bushy lands and turning your shirt inside out if you feel like you have become lost while hiking or in nature. Next is, Filipino people are serious about their food. If you ask any Filipino what their favorite pastime is, most likely they will say any activity that involves eating. Eating is considered a social activity and Filipinos like eating together and eating out with friends and family. Filipino parties have more than enough food to feed everybody. Servings are meant to be so abundant to the point that guests are expected to take home the extra food. It is also considered an embarrassment to the host if there isn't enough food to give away. Next is caring for your family ranks high in Filipino values. Family is also often regarded as a Filipino's greatest treasure, which means that Filipinos are willing to do anything for their family. Working abroad for the sake of one's family is a common way of life for a lot of Pinoys. Overseas Filipino workers or OFWs often send money to the Philippines to show they care for loved ones. Filipinos are very hospitable. Filipino hospitality is famous amongst tourists and expats alike. In fact, the country has been deemed as one of the world's friendliest countries. Foreigners usually receive a wave from a Filipino when walking in the street. In addition, Filipino locals are very welcoming to new faces. It is common for locals to invite tourists to their homes for a meal or two, especially in less urbanized areas. The Filipino people want to share their culture with foreign visitors and Filipinos usually do this through home-cooked meals. If you are fortunate enough to be invited, you may hear, "Oh, kain pa," often which means, "Come on, eat more." True, your Filipino host may need some convincing that you truly cannot eat another bite. Filipino hosts also have a tendency to reject help, such as washing the dishes from guests, saying, "No, you're a visitor," to your offer. Filipino people have a diverse background. Has a foreigner ever told you you don't look Filipino? Unlike other Asian countries, the Philippines was not only colonized once, but twice. The country was under Spanish rule from the 15th to the 18th century. The Philippines was then colonized by the Americans until the mid-19th century. The Philippines was also briefly occupied by the Japanese, while Chinese merchants have migrated throughout the past few decades. Hence today, most Filipinos are of mixed heritage. Interestingly, the most common surnames in the Philippines are De La Cruz, Garcia Santos, and Reyes, all of which are Spanish in origin. Tan and Lim are also common last names which are Chinese in origin. Filipinos are a very social group of people. Filipinos live by the saying, the more, the merrier, and are often close with different members of their clan. Especially occasions and trips are also usually celebrated with various members of the extended family, which means Filipino parties are often big. A party is only considered a party if you at least invite your family, your extended family, and their friends. Their Filipino values extend to weddings, which are also expected to be big, and 100 guests is considered to be a small number. The result? There is more food than anyone can finish. Religious celebrations are a big part of life in the Philippines. Christmas season usually starts on the 1st of December in most parts of the world. In the Philippines, it starts in September, as it is candidly referred to as the start of Bear Months. Christmas songs are played in public places or areas such as shopping malls and markets during this time. Aside from Christmas, Easter is also a festive season that calls for gatherings. Other occasions such as Chinese New Year, Mid-Autumn Mooncake Festival, and Ramadan are also recognized to be festive seasons for a number of the population. Since Pinoys are known to thrive in big groups and love to eat, celebrations are always coupled with huge gatherings and lot of delicious food. And also, caring for others is part of Filipino values. Filipinos are caring and are very much comfortable showing it. Sharing is caring for us, and this sense of goodwill is extended to not only people we know, but to complete strangers. Even members of the lower economic class share whatever they have with those in need. Caring can also take many forms, one of which is sending money and goods to loved ones, or even strangers. Overseas Filipino workers are often called bagong bayani or modern-day heroes due to their selfless economic contributions to their kababayans or countrymen. Now, there is more need for these heroes than ever. The COVID pandemic has been a hard time for many. No matter where you are, there is always a way to help people in need, especially loved ones. And lastly, having a strong work ethic is a classic Filipino trait. The Philippines is one of the top 20 countries in the world that works the most hours per week, but also has one of the lowest minimum wages. Because of this, doing overtime work is the norm and leaving the workplace on time is frowned upon. Hence, when Pinoys move to a different country for greener pastures, the discipline of churning work is often recognized. While you cannot easily lump people into groups, Filipino people would not mind being associated with so many good traits. This list includes just a few examples of what makes Filipinos such a joy to be around.
My name is Minard Badar. My topic for today's video is about the strength and weakness of the Filipino characters are roots in factors. Said that in the home environment, Filipino children are taught to value family and give it primary importance. The Filipino social environment is characterized by depending on one another to survive. This depends on relationship, and the struggle for survival make Filipino grow. Meanwhile, Filipino culture and language depict openness to foreign elements with no basic consequence for our cultural core. The Filipino colonial mentality, such as the importance of the English language in our education system, the winter following of the Hollywood movies, shows, and music is a manifestation of attachment for foreign elements. Added that our colonial history is regarded as the core plate behind our colonial mentality. Unfortunately, most Filipino elites are of no help in setting an example of overcoming colonial mentality because they are even more westernized in their ways, present the media on their hand reinforce this colonial influence. The Philippine education system is also instrument in molding the strength and weakness of the Filipino characters. Schools are highly authorization early when children learn that will behave and obedient students are praised and rewarded. These teachers positively and comfortably. The Filipino is also religion taught us optimize and resilience. However, it also instilled in us a fatalistic attitude since regulation communities are also high authoritarian. This further reinforced our being passive and confirmed. Several Filipino traits arose in our economic environment. The hard life drawn Filipino to work hard and take risks such as leaving our families to work on board. This further develop our abilities to survive. Unfortunately, our political environment and government structures and system are fraught with problems. For instance, the fact that political power is mainly in the hands of the elite and the absence of a strong government presents enhanced Filipino already extremely family-centeredness. The economic and political environments are among the elements that have developed the cultural of the corruption in the Philippines. Thanks, sir. That's all.
My name is Janilo Lubitanya and I'm going to tackle it's all about strength of Filipino characters. Filipino have a cheerful and fun, loving approach to life and its ups and downs. We have a pleasant disposition of sense of humor and propensity for happiness and contribute not only to the Filipino charm but also the indomitability of the Filipino spirit. Laughing at others and the mess we are in is an important copying mechanism. Often playful, sometimes sensual, sometimes disrespectful. We love at those we love, and we hate, and we make jokes about our good fortune and bad. This sense of joy and humor is manifest in the Filipinos love social and celebrations. In our capacity to laugh even in the most trying of times and in the affairs of political stir. The result of the certain emotion balance, hypnotism, and healthy disrespect for power and office and the capacity to survive. Filipino possesses sensitivity and Filipino feelings, pakiramdam, pagtitiwala or trust, and also sense of gratitude or utang na loob. And that's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Arvin Arcalino and I will be going to discuss the weaknesses of Filipino character. First is extreme family centeredness. A family orientation is a strength, but when we say extreme family centeredness, you give so much love to your family and to all your relatives and it becomes the weaknesses already. So we do everything for our family to succeed. For instance, in work, if you want to promote your brother or cousin and you have the power to promote them, then you will do everything to promote them. So because of that, we also cover the mistakes done by any of our family members. This will lead to our factionalism, patronage, and political dynasties, and it results in lack of concern for the common good. Second is extreme personalism. This is how you personalize things to the point where you believe you are the center of attention. Filipinos will take things personally. This is for us to be subjective and involve our emotions in everything that we do. For instance, you are aware that a person's behavior is not actually like that. You will still judge them favorably if you do so because you are friend of acquaintance. So your judgment is clouded by personalism. Because of this, the Filipino is uncomfortable with bureaucracy, with rules and regulations, and with standard procedures. Extreme personalism leads to the graft and corruption evident in Philippine society. So third is lack of discipline. We Filipino lack of discipline encompasses several related characteristics. The lack of discipline results in a lack standardization and equality control. For example, that because you lack of discipline, everything is possible even if you didn't do very well because you didn't have time to do it. So that's okay. So when you are told that you are going to sneak out, you take shortcuts. We don't go through the procedures and the process, as we also naginas kogon and we already good and beginning, but as all you go on your forget that. Fourth, passivity and lack of initiative. Filipino are generally passive and lacking in initiative. One waits to be told that has to be done. For instance, even if you can do that thing, you will still won't do this because you just wait for someone to tell you to do it. We strongly show reliance to others like our government, like it shall the government fault. Why does my family have nothing to eat? Because the government is like this. So many people get COVID because the government is like this. So depends so much to those who are in the authority or those who are in government, and we think that they should be the one to be doing a lot things for us. Next is too patient and matiisin or bahala na system. We believe then tend to say that no matter what happens, at least we have tired. Next is colonial mentality. Filipino have colonial mentality, which is made up of two dimensions. The first is lack of patriotism, of active awareness, appreciation, and love of the Philippines. Filipino culture is characterized by the openness to the outside, adapting and incorporating the foreign elements into our image of ourselves. The second is an actual preference for things for. Next is kanya-kanya syndrome or talangka mentality. The talangka mentality states that we sometimes prefer to be all way down than see someone succeed, and we actively work to bring another down. The kanya-kanya syndrome is I don't want to share it because it's only mine. I work hard for it, and it is evident in the personal ambition that is completely insensitive to the common good. Next is lack of self-analysis and self-reflection. Self-analysis and self-reflection are not popular among us, and in the face of serious problem and social problems, we do not analyze it. We do not reflect it. And the last one is emphasis on forma rather than substance. This one is the focus of the appearance rather than the content. We are more focused on the appearance, even though the attitude is bad. We make ourselves more beautiful than we make ourselves smarter.
I'm Kent Brian Boot. So today I will tackle about democracy. So democracy is the system of government by the whole population of all eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives. So democracy allows ordinary people to have a say in what the government does. It allows people to decide how their country and community should be run. It's a chance to hear other people's opinions on the elections. Adults who are Philippine citizens can comment on how this is affecting their everyday lives. The most common type of democracy is a representative democracy. Citizens who choose they want to represent them in the houses. Parliament through elections. It is important that people's voices can be heard. For example, politics in the Philippines are governed by a three-branch system of government. The country is a democracy with a president who is directly elected by the people and serve as both the head of state and the head of government. Importance of election are: first, elections are significant and essential part of a democratic country. Second, with the help of votes, citizens of the country can choose their representatives. Third, a person who is 18 years or more can freely exercise the right of voting. Lastly, every democratic nation runs in the slogan of the people, by the people, and for the people. Elections is a process through which it is completed. Therefore, we see how elections play a pivotal role in a democracy country. The party which secures the highest number of votes in the elections process forms the government from the next term. That is why we see how elections are greatly crucial for a democracy country.
Hi, I am Carl De Villacorta, and I am here to talk about citizenship under political self. So, active citizenship is the process of sharing decisions that affect one's life and the life of a community in which one lives. It is anchored on cognitive and behavioral engagement to participate in formal and more informal political activities. It fosters social relatedness and belongingness and is associated with a sense of community. Active citizenship can also enhance efficacy and competence of the younger generation, as they are considered to be the future leaders of the society. It helps an individual embrace their individuality through the choices they make and behavior they manifest, and can result in cultural and political paradigm shifts that may be felt even by future generations.